Right, should be live. Let me double check if we are. But what a wild day it's been. Turn that down for a start. Yeah, welcome to the stream, everyone. Yeah, I mean, let's actually log into Trading 212. Yeah, I haven't done a stream in ages. I just thought, why not do a stream? Because it's been a bit of a crazy week, and it's been a bit of a crazy week in general for me in the sense of work-wise, and also just a lot's gone on this week, and then also the stock market, as you guys know, it's been pretty insane. Yeah, it's been crazy, really. But I mean, I will go in once we got a few people join in. I'll wait for a few people to join. What I'm going to do is, we'll just guess kind of where the portfolio is. We'll do that again because that was quite fun in the chat. Yeah, welcome everyone. Everyone's joining now. It's wait. We've got half an hour until the market close. I mean, there's a few things I just want to show you, and obviously why the market, I guess, rebounded a little bit from the downwards spiral. But yeah, Paul, I'm down 5%. I mean, are you 5% down on the day or just overall? Welcome everyone. Down 35k. Wow. Mark, hope you're well, mate. Wild day, week, month, portfolio not looking great at the moment, but think I might be buying some soon. Some of these prices are too low to turn down. Yeah, 100%. I mean, do I work in finance? I actually don't. I have a completely different job. I don't work in finance, which I think is quite nice because then you just move from going into, you could say, the finance world of trading, the stock market, and then go into my normal job, which is, I'm a videographer, which some of you already know, obviously. What have I bought? Yeah, I'll touch on what I've bought. I mean, I'll touch on that. And I made my first investments this week. Oh, nice. I mean, it's probably a good, obviously not financial advice or anything, but if you're new to the markets, it's not like you're buying the local top, are you? It seems like we've had a bit of a retrace. Well, my portfolio's definitely had a retrace. Yesterday we got battered, yeah. That's the thing as well, because I was filming yesterday, I just wasn't looking at my portfolio or anything. And then at the end of the shoot, and I was coming back home, it was literally after close, like 9 p.m. at the time or something. I looked at my portfolio and went, wow, what a mad day it's been. And yeah, so crazy. I mean, everyone. It's nice though, like doing these streams, and that's why I do these streams, because everyone can chat in the chat, and everyone can talk about how their week's gone with it all, and hopefully be relatable with obviously how the stock market goes, because it's not just green. It's not always green, and we were doing some streams when it was green all the time. Been doing videos where it's been green all the time, and recently the streams have been red all the time because it's just the way it is. I saw you on TikTok. You had iron. Can you please talk about that? Yeah, I mean, I actually never made a position in iron, but I liked the company. I also, I can go into that as well. It's pretty much at my price that I bought my first share to have as a watch list. So it's quite interesting how we've gone from being up 70-60% on that position to being up 1%. Obviously, luckily, I didn't make a position in iron, but it was more like I bought a share for like a watch list to watch. I thought it was a good week. put my first 10k in and kept 8k in cash in case it keeps going down. Wait, hang on, let me read that again. Oh yeah, I thought it was a good week. Put my first 10k in and kept 8k in cash. It keeps going down. No, that's a smart thing, and that's actually a really smart thing to do, because you can't just, let's say you did have £10,000. I wouldn't, even with the market being down as it is, I don't even think it's not wise to just go all money, or put all your money in. Obviously you should have emergency savings and everything anyway, but you shouldn't just go straight into the market. It's always good to average down, and I mean, you've done a good portion in first while it's down, obviously, which is good, but you don't know how much more it could go down, and that's why if you average in you can't really lose as such, because you're just constantly averaging in, and that's why I don't really worry, and that's why seeing what it is now. But anyway, I'll stop rambling on. What we'll do is, as people have joined, let's do the situation last stream where, I think this was last week as well, guess the portfolio value, should we say, because last time we did how much am I down, but I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not down that much on the day. I mean, I'm down a fair bit, but I'm not down like crazy amounts on the day. I reckon it's best to guess the portfolio value. So before I go on to the next screen, put in the chat what you think the portfolio value is. It'd be interesting to see if anyone gets it spot on. And I'll let you know if someone gets near. And I want to see if some people are more brutal with it and think it's a lot further down or higher up. I mean, let's see if anyone's actually near. They're coming through. I mean, it is going to change as we are trading. Well, the stock market's live. All right, someone is literally spot on. Someone's got it spot on. I'll see if anyone else. Yeah, someone else is spot on with the portfolio. Hang on. For a minute, I had to look up and see, is my screen even on, because someone actually got it exact. Okay. I mean, some of you guys think it's a lot higher. Obviously, if you stay up to date with my TikTok and Instagram and that page, obviously I do update quite frequently, so you see where it kind of was. So yeah, but all right, I'll go into the screen now and we'll see who was right. But yeah, a few of you actually got it right, to be fair. 168,000, and I'll show you as well. At one point, just double checking it. So yeah, at one point we went all the way down to, we actually went lower than that. We went to 160,000. So we were down a lot today, and then we had a rebound. So yeah, I mean, it's brutal, but you got to zoom out, and like, obviously I've been in the stock market for 5 years now. Out of those 5 years, I'll say 2.5, pushing 3 years, I made mistakes with buying companies very overvalued and not really understanding why a company could be priced at that price, if that makes sense. So I wasted a lot of years. But with that said, even with me making mistakes and paying at overpriced prices at the time, when you zoom out and look at the 3 months, I'm up 8.9% in the last 3 months, even with this massive downturn, to be honest. And I'm still up 8.9%, which is great. And then on the year, I'm up 92%, 93%. So when you zoom out, it's still mad. But you got to think as well, like, we could go a lot further down. And I've said this before in my portfolio videos, and we don't know how far. We're getting nearer to correction territory. I think we're 2% away. I think the QQQ's worst, it went down to about 8% from the top. So if it's 10% or more, it'd be a correction, and which we haven't got yet. So there is a possibility that the portfolio could, I've always thought, like, it could go to 147. And then the next, it could drop do you know what I mean? If we get near to like crash territory, like let's say the S&P 500 getting near to 20%, at the moment it's done 8% down, you're looking at probably going back here. But, and even then I'd still be up. So yeah, it's what was needed. Like, as you can see in my portfolio, look how much I was going up. This big downturn, it was so needed, and it's just the way it is. Evening, John. Welcome to the stream. What am I down on the week? Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't show you that. So on the week, it's pretty brutal. Down £22,000 in a week. On the month, it's even worse. Down 25,000 on the month. So yeah, I mean, it could go below 100,000 to be fair. Yeah, but the thing is as well, like the April ones, I actually did go down to 70, I think, and then it rebounded very quickly. And even if it doesn't, even if it means it doesn't, it goes all the way back down for a few months, like 2022. That was pretty brutal, to be fair. 11 months of just red. I'll even put in ChatGPT now, actually. Longest bear markets. That'd be interesting to see. Longest bear markets. I'm holding crypto as well. Yeah, I've got crypto. That's really bad as well. Top 8 longest bear markets. Can't remember where I saw this. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, so there was so 2022 was, I believe, sorry, I'm not putting on the screen, hang on. Yeah, 2022 was 9 months, which was pretty brutal. Some were like, look at that. Some went on for years. So, and 2022 was brutal, but you got to think the amount of bull markets there are, it's just insane. But yeah. Do you think I'll get my Christmas wish list? At the rate we're going, probably. Who knows? But I'll tell you what though, I've ended up purchasing. I've used up a lot of my cash. I've got £92 now. I bought more Oscar shares. I'm down on Oscar, down 4.6%. Obviously, I've done my video on why I want to buy Oscar, so you can check that out on my YouTube channel. And I think it's definitely in a bad place because of, obviously, we don't know if these subsidies are going to be extended, etc. I've spoken about this before, and it doesn't. Obviously, the stock market does not like uncertainty. I mean, this stock is now trading at quite cheap, very cheap valuations. Like, I don't know off the top of my head now, but it'd be definitely something like 0.6 times sales. So not a lot at all. Palantir's had a massive downward trend, which was expected. That was always going to happen. The problem is as well, like, and I stress it a lot, it's just, there's just so many people very short term, like very short minded, and you just gotta, I don't look at it as like, you got to look at it in decades. Like it's not a short term quick get money quick. Do you know what I mean? So, but anyway, the Russell 2000. If you have a look at this, from the top down to the bottom here, 8.5%. So it nearly got into correction territory. Same with the QQQs and S&P 500. I was looking. Even on here, Palantir's getting near to the oversold on the daily chart. And last time we've been all the way down here, well, we didn't even touch it down in April. Could be back in 2024 August. So it hasn't been down here for a while. So there could be a bit of a reversal. It looks like it's holding support there. We'll have a look at SoFi as well with the RSI. So that's getting close to oversold. So there probably is a bit more downward pressure. Same with AMD, that's getting near to the oversold. And this is on the daily chart. I don't look at technicals much, by the way. I don't, barely, because things can change fundamentally. News can come out. But I just like to look at things like this as well. And Oscar, I mean, this has been beaten down like crazy. Look how oversold it is on the RSI. And the MACD is about to cross, which sometimes normally signals an upward movement. Like as you can see here, it crossed here. And every time it crossed, it had an upward movement. So we could be not so far away from a bit of upwards movement. But have a look at this as well. The S&P 500 with a beautiful bounce off the 100-day moving average, just as it did back in May, just after obviously the April downward times that we had, if anyone was in the stock market then as well. Yeah, Oscar, with the fact that they've not even included subsidies, that's another reason why I'm confident and going with Oscar, and I trust the management, because they're not even pricing the fact that the subsidies are going to get extended. So if the subsidies do get extended, I mean, the stock could very much go green very quickly. And I think we just got to wait as well. Like, they're going to become profitable again, Oscar. And obviously that'll be great for the stock. And then they can start growing again. And I think it will just be old news, and it'll be one of those where it's just short-term noise, isn't it? It is what it is at the moment. The thing is, Chris, though, like, yeah, I can understand, like, people, it's a very high beta portfolio, but a lot of these stocks, yeah, you could say that they are priced highly with their PEs, but there's reasons for it, because they're absolutely dominating the space and putting up crazy growth numbers in the fundamentals. And I mean, I don't look at it as like a short-term thing. If I needed this money in the next year or two, then yeah, I would be panicking. I would, like, because it's just like, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what these stocks could be valued at, in that sense. But a lot of, pretty much all the stocks I hold, I'm very, very confident in them, obviously. And obviously so many people told me to just not bother with Palantir and how they were overvalued and worth not even $7. Well, they're obviously wrong. They were wrong. And that's what creates the stock market. And you need people that don't think that stock can be that price. And then you need people that think that is a good price. And I mean, Grab, for an instance, like, they've got, their balance sheets are crazy. They've got so much cash. So, yeah, $6 billion in cash for a start, and they're a $19 billion market cap. But yeah, what was I going to show you? The other thing is as well that I saw, and this is so when my portfolio was at 160,000, and now it's 168,000, it kind of rebounded because of this. So Nvidia might be able to start selling their chips to China, which is obviously a huge market, and Nvidia hasn't even accounted for their chips to be sold in China. So that's huge for Nvidia, and obviously the market started to like that. Rate cuts as well. A lot of people thought the rate cuts might not be happening, and there's a bit more confidence now that the rate cuts will be happening. There's like a 75% chance, people thinking. So and the thing is though, regardless of all of that, markets can't just go straight up, and they can't be green every single day. It's been green for so long, and you just got to be able to stomach stuff like this. And like I say, if you're wanting your money next year, I just would not advise being in the stock market whatsoever. I always have the mindset of I'm gonna have to keep this money in for a minimum 5 years, because you could get a situation a bear market that could last 3 years, let's say. But if you're averaging in every single month, it should work out good. But I will invest more in the invest account as well. I'm actually obviously keeping people up to date with that, and I will be buying a lot more Meta, I'm sure of it, and that will be Tuesday though. I get paid on Tuesday, so I actually want the market to go down, especially if it's Tuesday, because then I can buy stocks cheaper. Because you got to think as well, like getting the mindset of like, well, if I'm fine with not having the money now, and I've set myself and prepared myself to at least hold these stocks for 5 years, let's say, then if I had the mindset and the thought process of, well, if I'm selling it in 5 years' time, well, why am I getting so caught up with it being up and going down? In some ways, you kind of want the stock market to just be going down while you're buying, and then if you are wanting to sell in the 5 years' time, then obviously that's when you want it to start being in its bull run. And that's when you can sell. But 5 minutes to go until the closing bell, and I mean, it's been pretty brutal of a week. Pretty brutal indeed, but just always zoom out when you've had times like this. Yeah, I mean, Hims have done a massive share buyback, haven't they? Or they're wanting to do a massive share buyback because they just believe their stock is very cheap. Yeah, I agree, John. I think as well, it just needed some steam let off. Like, it's just been mental, this market, and we've been going on streams and we've been doing videos, and it is just mental and ridiculous to then, let's say, do a TikTok video and go, I'm up another £4,000 today, or I'm green today, and obviously in the last 3 weeks or so, it's not been like that, which is good. I mean, when did it stop from the top? 30th of October, so we've nearly had a month of it. So that if I go, yeah, pretty much coming up to a month in like 9 days. I've got some predictions of AMD stock on my AMD video. So I would check out my AMD video, because then you can see a reasons for why I think that stock price. So then you can actually, I can show you the invest account actually as well if you want. It's pretty damn red. You've not lost until you sold, and also you got to just, and God, I'm getting ill. The best thing to do as well in times like this is like reevaluate your portfolio and go, have I got into like really overpriced stocks? Have I got into this, that? Have I got into companies that are overvalued and not really producing the numbers in the financials? Then you've got to start figuring it out. I have not been buying any more Fubo, actually. I've got a sizable amount. Like, I'm happy with the 2,000 shares I've got. Even though it's been going down loads, I'm happy with that. And I'm still sticking with my prediction and what I think, and conviction, you could say, of why I think Fubo will be a lot more than what it is at the moment. It's just having a bad time right now, and it could happen a lot longer. Who knows? But I think once the financials start coming out and once the merger is all sorted, I think it is like it will be a bit. I don't want to say too late, but yeah, it'll be a very reactional stock. But yeah, I'm confident with it. It's just at the moment, yeah, it doesn't look great, but that's investing. Not everything happens within a few months or a year. Like, even if a stock hasn't done anything for a year, people start going a bit like, oh my god, it's not doing anything. Like, you need patience. Like Palantir, SoFi, like all of them didn't do anything for a long time. If not going down, it's just what happens. Eventually, the stock will catch up to its fundamentals. So, what was I going to do? Yeah, I'll go into the invest account now then, guys. Be prepared. It is very, very red because I bought at the local top. I literally got in before this whole correction. I say correction, it's not even been a correction, but this downwards spiral. So, yeah. But I've been averaging down and I've been getting them down. And obviously I'm in high beta names as well with some of these stocks. So, yeah, let's get it. Actually, no, we'll do the same thing with the stocks and shares ISA, because I have not done the invest account in quite a while. So I think a lot of people probably won't even get the number right. So guess in the chat what you think the invest account value is. And I haven't actually looked at it for a while, so it could be a lot worse than I thought. So I've got price predictions with Fubo. Did I put it in my video? I can't remember if I put it in my video or not. Um, £300. I hope not. 5k, 9k, 9k. Not in this market. It's not. Yeah, but still, like, a lot of these stocks are like they're not. They've not reached the full potential of what they could be with their financials, and they've got a lot more growth to come. Like, I don't trade stocks. I don't trade my portfolio. I don't sell and then buy back lower, or sell high and buy back lower for because you will eventually lose. In like your emotions will come into play then, and it trust me, like that, it just doesn't work. Like, yes, I could have sold at 210,000 and bought back now, had more shares, but you just don't know when it's going to happen. And I'm in stocks that have got so much more growth in the fundamentals. If they're slowing down or there's warning signs in the earnings calls and that, I'd be out of the stock, obviously. But people get so attached to that share price, it's insane. Very, like, yeah. It's not like it's not a bad thing. It's not like I appreciate it as well. Like you saying, take profits, and I do appreciate people looking out for me. But this is just my plan. This is what I'm doing, and I'm sharing it. And people got different opinions and different things, and that's why the stock market is the stock market, and that's what makes the stock market. So you sadly need losers, and you need winners as well. But yeah, anyway. But this is why I created this channel, to be super transparent, because I'm just like, that's what I want it to be. I want to look back at this when I'm 40, 50 and go, look at this time, look at this stream. Like, I want this to even, like, these videos will outlast my life without being so, like, I don't know, like, do you know what I mean? Like, when you look back at some YouTube videos that are 20 years old, actually that's going too far. I mean, like 14 years old, whenever YouTube came out. It's just mad that them videos are going to stay on the internet forever unless I delete these, but I won't. People can look back at my journey and hopefully take inspiration from it in years to come, in decades to come. Anyway, I've gone on a tangent. Let's see, I'm just going to scroll through to see if anyone's got it exactly. I actually need to go on it first. Hang on. I mean, all I'm going to say is we're green on the day. On the day. Someone's pretty much got it spot on, literally off by £100. So let's go. There we go. TB Loud pretty much got it spot on, £100 off. Hi Ryan, welcome to the stream. Yeah, you can't like look into the future. You can't see the future. By the way, guys, as well. Oh, look at that drop there. To be honest, these stocks have held quite well considering how bad the market has been. I know Honest is down a lot, and that was mainly due to obviously their earnings. And I've done a video discussing my thoughts on Honest, so if you want to see that, check that video out. But there's going to be a lot of pain with Honest. I think short term, whatever you class as short term, I class short term as like a year or even 2, but there'll probably be a bit of like short term pain with Honest as they transition and that. But it seems to have held its price around these areas. Look at it. It's kind of just fluctuating around here. It seems like it anyway. But yeah, look how much it's been beaten down, this stock. Like, even this time last year, it was an $8 stock. But yeah, I've done my reasonings with Honest, and I mean, they've got a balance sheet for that size company is very, very strong and very good. So I don't really have worries in that sense. Oscar, we're up in the invest account after even it being at these prices. It did go down all the way down here, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing, like, we started this portfolio a month ago. Do you know what I mean? It's been 1 month. 1 month in the stock market is nothing. That's what I want to show you guys is... Oh, by the way, actually, hang on. Because you don't realise how down I'm actually, to be honest. It's quite hard to... Yeah, I'm down 19%, which is a lot. It's very, very bad. Very bad performance from me. But I'm not worried at all. I'm actually very confident, hence why I've bought into these stocks. But yeah, but 1 month, you can't judge off 1 month. And I mean, obviously, you could judge off a decade or so. And yeah. Yeah, no, okay, this is the thing that's... A lot of people said with Jeremy, the financial education guy. I do watch his videos, like I do. I'm not going to hide it. Like some of his videos are solid. He's just, you got to be careful with certain things he says because he does manipulate in the sense of sometimes. I don't want to say manipulate actually. Obviously, he pushes his Discord groups and patrons and that, which is completely fine. But you just got to be careful with certain things. He doesn't always show, or he can be a bit shady with certain stocks. Obviously messed up with Tattoo Chef or whatever the stock was called. So he has messed up with certain stocks, but that is investing. You don't get everything right. But Honest stock, I actually didn't get off him. I got this stock off a few of you guys in the live streams, and people kept saying Honest, and I was like, oh, I haven't looked into it, and I'll have a look into it. And then I started looking into it, and I was like, actually, yeah, obviously it's a very small market cap, so it can, yeah, 283 million, but I've gone in through my reasonings with it, and I see there could be potential of a bit of a turnaround play with Honest. So yeah, I mean, I have got a sizable amount considering for this portfolio. I mean, it probably takes up 20%. Yeah, 20% of my portfolio. Oscar's probably going to be a bigger position than what it is now, bigger than Honest. I don't want Honest to be bigger than Oscar because it doesn't make sense to, because that's more of a riskier stock to have because they haven't executed what they said, or we need to see a bit of a path that they can. But obviously Meta's where it is. I think Meta, I'm buying as much as I can when I get paid. Every time I get paid at the moment, I'm buying. I'm buying Meta. It's literally like, especially if it's under $600, I am buying Meta. But yeah, I have been averaging down on Meta. Like, I've brought my average down to 664. I actually bought Meta at when did I where I bought Meta. I think I bought Meta at $750. And people go, "What? That's ridiculous. You bought pretty much at all-time highs." Like, yeah, I kind of did. Like, it has gone higher, but it's because I understand, like, the value that this stock has. I'm not saying it will, and this is not financial advice, but from the projections and the calculations I've done, if they trade at the same P ratio as they are now, and they hit those projections and what they're saying in their guidance, this could have a potential of hitting $1,000 2026. I'm not saying that it will. Don't take that as financial advice. It's just what I think it could happen. Obviously, that's not going off the P ratio it is now. It would have to trade at a bit of a higher valuation, like more like probably 30, 35. Can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah. Anyway, I think that there's a lot of value in Meta at the moment. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that portfolio pans out in the next few months. More so probably summertime or whatever, but yeah. Will I average up on Oscar? I will be averaging up on Oscar, yeah. um I mean, I was happy buying it at $17, so I'm happy buying it now. Do you know what I mean? So it's like almost the equivalent of saying, like, oh, here's this Rolex that you've been liking, which is £15,000, but and you're prepared to pay for £15,000, but it's all of a sudden they're selling it for 10, and you're like, well, yeah, I'm going to buy it. Obviously, that's such a bad comparison because it doesn't make you money. Like, it doesn't generate revenues and stuff. But another thing I wanted to, I don't know if I can show you this, but you know how I had that website for the projections? Well, obviously it cost me too much money to run. Let's just say that. But someone reached out to me in my DMs on Instagram, and he's been working on a website, and it's honestly very solid. I'm not joking. And I don't know if I can show you. I'll just show you, but it's not out yet. So, but what do you guys think of this? I think this looks so good. And I said, oh, it'd be cool if you can do a projections calculator, so you don't have to do it on a Google sheet. Oh, don't ignore these numbers. This was not a good idea. Ignore these numbers because they're not. It's not finalized because I said it would be good to individually edit these years because you can't base it like this. And yeah, but I need to look at their margins and everything. But yeah, I mean, this is just a good visual way of showing you what a potentially like a stock could be like. Um, and like obviously you can change the growth rate. So, oh, if it did 20% revenue growth and then it had a net income margin of this, or the P ratio is this would be, I literally, you can't see it, can you? Hang on. Wait. There you go, you can see it. You can see what I'm actually talking about now. Um, so yeah, it will go up to 2029, and then you can. But I want to be able to change the individual years because it's not going to do 20.5% and 37.9% year on year on year. It's going to change, but you can just get a bit of a visual representation of what they're doing. So that's why you should pay attention to their um, earnings calls and what they say. And there's a lot of things I'm going to say to him, like what you can change, but it's not nothing. It's not mine. It's not my website at all. I might obviously work out an affiliate link, so I've got an incentive. But then also, I generally would be using this because this site looks incredible, like very, very, very solid what he's done. But that's yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you guys, because it looks pretty promising. But that's what I mean by the reason why I shared that is because it's important to do breakdowns of where you think your stocks are going financially. Otherwise, it's just a blind guess of where what if it's almost like a blind guess of going, oh, is $200 a buy? I don't actually know, but I mean it's down a bit, so I guess it is. But it could be down a bit, but it might be still very very much overvalued. So, but when you have something like that, you can see. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully that's helped at all. But yeah. Hey Ben, hope you're well. I closed my LISA to max my stocks and shares ISA from 16 to 20 for a mortgage. Stocks and shares could see faster gains plus fewer solicitor fees, so it feels like a smart move. What do you think? I mean, obviously, like I said, I can't give the financial advice, but it depends on the type of investor you are, and also the time horizon of when you're probably getting a house. Because if you, it's a very difficult topic to be fair. Because I'm in a similar situation, wanting to get a house. Like I spoke on my last stream. If you're wanting to get a house, let's say next year, I wouldn't recommend it unless like you're like prepared to take on the risk of like, oh, if obviously there's a bear market next year, then and you don't mind and you don't have to move out next year, you can delay it another year or so, then you could like look at the stock market as something that you could try. And obviously this isn't the best advice to give because everyone would say don't, because most of the time you shouldn't. If you're not very familiar with the stock market or don't understand if something is overvalued or not, then yeah, just don't bother touching the stock market. But if you're a bit clued up on it and quite clued up on the stock market, then it could be something that could help you get a bigger deposit for sure. But I wouldn't look at the stock market as something that you can guarantee gains, because it doesn't work like that. You could be putting money in, and yeah, next year you could be down the money. Let's say you put in 20 grand next year, you could be down, and that could go to 10 or 15,000, depends on the market. What do you think the position of Meta will be in the Big Seven? Well, that's a good question. That's a very good question. I don't actually know, but I think it's because Google's an absolute money making machine. Amazon is as well. Well, they all are obviously, but I think someone did a tweet and it was really good actually. You could see how much the money some of these companies are generating quarter over quarter and how they've jumped. But they're all going to be very similar. I think they're all absolutely smashing it, and they've all got a key role. Like Meta is the king for the advertisement space for all the companies in the world to advertise on. And obviously they go into the whole glasses. That could be a massive product for them. That they're working on. That does look really cool actually. That could be a big seller for them. But and then Amazon, that's like your one-stop shop of buying stuff, buying products, and they've just mastered that. And then you've got Google with, and same with Amazon when it comes to obviously AWS and the cloud services. But then Google obviously they dominate the Google search and anything to do with a lot of searching. Like even Gemini's come out beating ChatGPT when it comes to like the performance of the model. And you've got YouTube, you've got Google Drive. They've all got their own key things where they dominate in. And then Apple seems obviously their key thing is their phones dominates in that sector. Like they've all got their individual things that they dominate in, and they very much dominate the market with it. And it's like no one else can touch them in that. I just don't. It makes me think as well. Like I wonder how long some of these companies are going to last. Because historically, not like companies don't last forever. Eventually, they go to zero almost. Like if you look at history, but sometimes you think like some of the like companies like Meta, companies like Amazon and Google, they're in such their ecosystem where it's like it's hard to see it go down. Apple's a different one because like there could be a company that just has a really good phone and someone wants to have that phone, whereas it's quite hard for another company to kind of dominate the social media scene, I feel like, because I just feel like people are just going to stick with Instagram and Facebook and all those social media platforms like it is part of their life. That is their life. And obviously they dominate the advertisement space. And then Amazon, they just dominate the space when it comes to buying products. But yeah, I don't know. I can't ramble then. Yeah, the projections thing that I just showed you, that's not mine. I had to close the website that I created with a friend of mine because we just couldn't afford the cost of running that website because you had to obviously pay for a commercial license, and it's just so much money to run, and we just didn't get the uptake that we thought people would use it for. Not enough people were using it, which is fair enough. So we had to close it, sadly. It's something that I'm gutted about because obviously it would have been great to have that. But someone in my DMs said, oh, can you check out this site? And it's quite similar to Physical AI, where you can analyse a company. It'll give you an AI report. It will show you the financials. I did say to him the financial segment bits, I probably would stick with Physical AI because they just smash it when it comes to that, Physical AI. But some of the features on his website's good as well. But then I said it'd be good if you could put a projection calculator in. And he's creating one now, and obviously I showed you a bit of like the draft of it so far, and it's looking good. Well, that's fair enough, Locke. I mean, yeah, some people don't off Amazon, but a lot of people do, hence obviously how well Amazon's doing as a company. But Amazon and Google was one that I was interested in getting into, but I didn't. I haven't looked into Celsius stocks, so I can't comment. I don't know if I would want to get into something like that though. Tom, no, I've not actually seen that of Casey Neistat's video. Oh, actually, no. Is it the video on him? Oh no, I don't think I have. I don't think I have. Amazon Meta, yeah, no, Solid Stocks that is. Yeah, no, Solid Stocks. Well, yeah, so that is the market close. Been a bit of a mad week, really, for definite. And how many likes are we on? 15 likes. Nice. If you're enjoying the stream, hit the like button. It does really help out. And Oracle, I can't really comment, but I know it's had an absolute fall. I don't want to. Yeah, I can't. I don't really have thoughts on because I haven't really paid too much attention into it. But yeah, it has gone down a lot. P45. I actually bought Oscar today. That's actually what I bought today. I ended up buying. I can't remember how many shares, but I'm on 907 shares of Oscar now, getting close to 1,000. I won't be able to get 1,000 now because I've run out of cash in the ISA. But yeah, obviously I'll be buying some in the invest account as well when I get paid. But I thought, why not buy some Oscar when it went down, and it's still down, obviously. But yeah, that's what I bought. Bought some Oscar. How did the S&P 500 finish today? Good question. Russell 2000 actually had a really good day. S&P 500, wow, up 1% today. Interesting that. But yeah, that is it. I think that's it. Yeah, I think it's been a good stream. I'm really glad I did do this, especially in a week that we've had, and it's important to also show the red days. Very important, because I think people, when it is green, everyone gets so excited and everyone wants to buy, and people forcing buys, almost like rushing in. What should I get into? Where it's like, you almost want to be greedier in these times. Do you know what I mean? And keep getting greedier as it goes down. But yeah, and obviously, like, don't get me wrong, like, you do naturally also yourself get a bit excited and want to buy some more at these sort of prices. But I felt like I did well with building the positions I did with AMD and SoFi. Hence why I've run out of cash early, because I was buying heavy in the April dips. So it is what it is. But we've been presented a bit of a pullback as well again, but it could be a lot more. It could be seriously a lot more. So yeah, but at least I've got the invest account that I can stock up on. So I actually don't know what price I bought in Oscar at, to be fair, exactly. Let me get a rough. I know I did get it before it. I got it under $13. Just don't want to give an exact price because I can't remember. But yeah. But that's it really. Hopefully enjoyed the stream. How many shares of Meta would I want to get? I mean, at the prices as it is, as many shares as I can possibly get. But I also would like to build a bit more of a position in Oscar, probably on the invest account. But yeah, I think just building a big position in Meta, like, it's just a lot safer. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in an extreme. Cheers for watching, guys. Like, honestly, I do appreciate it a lot.